Beautiful. We love that song because it is the epitome of a mother's love and the epitome of God's love for us. There's nothing that would shake the love of even Father, parent love, and God love for us. So breathe it in. All right. This morning I'm going to talk with you about divine intuition. And our intuition, we know that to be that internal guidance system that gives us life. So Spirit asked me to take you on a little journey this morning. I want you to think with me about when you go, it's spring, you know, when you go and you buy a little plant. You might buy a little flower pansy or a little tomato plant or something. And you know, it's just green and in that little box, and you take it home and you stick it in the ground, and then you water it, and then you wait. And you wait until it starts to grow something, until it starts to blossom. And then you get so excited when there's a flower on it, or a little tomato starts to grow, and you're so excited because now you can see that this plant this flower, this tomato is expressing itself, and it's just exciting, and we see the value in the expression. You do this, don't you? Mm-hmm. We all do. And this is what they said. Our focus is on the fruit, yet deep within the plant is a divine intelligence. This divine intelligence guides the plant to drink the water, to take in the nutrients, to turn to the sun. The divine intelligence is actually the energy that allows the plant to come into the expression of the blossom or the tomato. And when I was a little girl, so many years ago, we're probably talking early 60s, mid-60s, the revolutionary idea was coming on board. That you could actually take a plant and put a grow light in another direction and the plant would turn toward the grow light. That was new. Nobody had ever discovered this before.
Or discovering in the basement.
Do tell. I said early 60s. And there was this big scientific study of talking to plants. And I remember in elementary school, our teachers presenting this crazy idea that when you talk to a plant one way, it would grow, and if you talk to a plant, and this was new, this was cutting edge. But they were talking about this beautiful divine, they were accessing the divine intelligence within the plant that actually lifts it and guides it and helps it grow. They were aware there was something beyond the blossoms and the tomatoes. And think with me about our babies. When we have little children, how beautiful they are. And we love those children, don't we? Those new babies, we love them. We love them. What's the first thing we want them to do? Smile at me now. Talk, say mommy, daddy. We teach them to blossom. We look for, are they going to be a tomato? Are they going to be a pansy? Are they going to be a petunia? What are these little creatures? And we look at them and we encourage them to express and to become. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, the first time the baby walks, how many people do you call? They walked, oh my God, they climbed, oh my God. In the baby books, every first, we are so programmed to look at the expression of the child. This is how we teach our children. And this is how the children are taught that they get recognition from blossoming, from doing in the outer. Yet, within them, there is that deep, divine intelligence that's moving. That intelligence in them is often seen by the mom. A mother will hold a baby, and she sees the light in the baby, and she doesn't care if that baby ever says mama. Well, she does, but it doesn't change her love for that baby. She sees the essence of the child. And this is the natural intuition to intuition, the inner wisdom to the inner wisdom of the mother to the inner wisdom of the baby. And there's a peace there. And it's not necessarily women only, but I can tell you I've counseled many dads who were like this with their newborns until the newborns could what? Talk, walk, play ball, let me feed you, interact. Because the male world is geared toward the interaction. But the mother, the female energy, is geared toward feeling and seeing the life force. And in that moment, a mother actually sees the energy of the baby and the baby's purpose before the baby utters a word. Knows why the child is here. Seeing that beautiful energy that is motivating this expression, which will be this life journey. Take a breath. All right. In metaphysics, the very first thing that we do, because we have all been walking the journey of looking at our blossoms. We've all been walking the journey of growing tomatoes. You with me? So you're out in the world and you're trying to accomplish, and you come into metaphysics, and what's the first thing that we teach you? Reopen your intuition. Recognize that it is not the doing that's bringing these fruits, but there is a whole host of activity going on within you. And if you can listen and follow that intuitive intelligence that you are a part of, you can be guided to greater. And it's hard, isn't it, when you first get into metaphysics? It's hard to stop. It's hard to take your value away from what you've accomplished. Even in our world today, do we not approach each other and say, "Hi, how are you? What do you do?" You know, what do you do? You're fine, and now let me categorize you. What do you do? David goes, "I'm an artist." Okay, I open my file. David is an artist. Shut the file. I know nothing about art. Good to see you. Moving on. This is what we do. Instead of, "Hi, what do you do?" Well, I'm expressing as a child of God on planet Earth. Multifaceted. I do many things.
Try that at a party.
I have. You don't get many dance partners when you're a single young woman. But you hear what I'm saying? Coming back into the connection with that beautiful intelligence that is within you. All right. I wanted to share with you a scripture we've been working on in seminary. This is occurring in John. It's after the crucifixion when the disciples and Mary go to the tomb. And it's a great example, so I want to share it with you. This is the day that he arose. And Mary Magdalene went to the tomb, and she saw the stone had been rolled away. So she ran and she told Peter and John that the stone had been rolled away. So Peter and John ran to the tomb. They were running, and they got there. And Peter looked in and saw the linen clothes lying, but he did not enter in. I'm sorry, that was John that did that. Then Peter came after him and entered the tomb, and he saw the linen clothes lying there as well. They saw there was nothing there, and then they turned and they left. But Mary was standing near the tomb weeping, and as she wept, she looked into the tomb. She saw two angels in white sitting, one at the head and the other at the feet where the body of Jesus had lain. And they said to her, "Why do you weep?" And she said, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." And she said this and turned around and saw Jesus standing, but she didn't know it was Jesus. And he said to her, "Woman, why do you weep? Whom do you want?" And she thought he was the gardener, so she said, "My Lord, if you are the one who has taken him away, tell me where you have laid him so I may go and get him." And Jesus said to her, "Mary." And she turned and said, "Rabbi." And she recognized him, "My teacher." And Jesus said, "Do not come near me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say, I ascend to my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God." In that moment, Mary was seeing the body of Jesus that had not fully been transformed enough to take on physical dimension. We know that he did later take on physical dimension because he was able to eat with the disciples. But he was in the early resurrection process and was not fully in the physical yet.